I didn't always use a wheelchair. No, at one time I had a bright future ahead of me. But then I got married. It's the wife's fault I use a wheelchair. When I first met my wife, I could walk. Too many blows to the head. Finally had to sit down. Ended up in this wheelchair. And I'm not trying to say that my wife is a violent or a vindictive person, but we always have the same conversation. She always asks me the same thing.
What the hell is wrong with you? The only thing you ever think about is sex. Why do you only always ever think about sex?
I say, well, when you're thirsty, you think about water. When you're starving, you think about food. I think about sex. Bop. Shut up. You ought to think about trying to be romantic once in a while is what you ought to think about. So, the other day I tried it. I tried to be romantic. It didn't work. What I did was I reached up and I grabbed her boob. That's romantic, right, fellas?
No, maybe looking back on it.
I shouldn't have said honk, honk when I did it.
But, I did it and she turned around and same old thing.
Honk.
What the hell is wrong with you? I mean it. What is wrong with you? I can't. You're always touching on me and groping on me. Why are you always trying to grab on me? Every time I turn around, you're trying to grab on me.
Well, every time you turn around, you hit me in the face with your butt. What am I supposed to do?
Well, another hit on the head. I'm sick of this.
I can't do nothing with you. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Let's just get the rest of our groceries and get the hell out of here.
Got so bad that she finally drags me to see a marriage counselor. Yeah, social work. What a load of crap. I knew I was in trouble from the get-go, man. Because, naturally, the marriage counselor she picks is a woman. But I figured try and make the best of it. I go up, I introduce myself. I say, hey, Ms. Marriage Counselor, nice of you to see us on such short notice. Really hope you can do us some good. It's good to meet you. By the way, anybody ever tell you have a nice ass? Honk, honk. Bonk. What the hell is wrong with you? I looked at my wife and said, did you put her up to that? She and my wife, of course, are talking like they're old friends.
Oh, yeah, I've only known him 5 minutes. I don't see how you put up with him at all. Oh, it's harder every day to put up with him. He just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Marriage counselor says,
yeah, I can see you have your hands full with this one.
Thanks a lot.
That wasn't meant as a compliment, Mr. Brown.
Finally, this marriage counselor says to me, look, Mr. Brown, if you want to save your marriage, you have to get back to a time when you had no idea of what sex even was. You have to go back to your childhood. You have to find something that reminds you of your childhood and puts you back in touch with those feelings that you had when you were a kid, when you were innocent. You have to find your lost innocence. So, I'm running all over town trying to find my lost innocence. I go to the bookstore. I look at all the self-help books in the self-help aisle. I don't find anything. I go to Best Buy and look through all the movies for, movies I saw as a kid. There's nothing there that really seems like it would work. The only thing I found that was the least bit interesting was Out of the Gutter, the inspirational story of a man and his young son. I go to the porn store, and I can't say that it was a totally wasted trip, but there's absolutely no innocence at the porn store. So I come home, and I'm feeling kind of bad because, I want to make this work. Want to try to take the advice she gave me, at least, make it a try. So I'm flipping through the TV channels, just absentmindedly, flipping through them, and I find it. The thing that is representative of all my lost innocence. Sesame Street. Sesame Street, I remember watching Sesame Street when I was 4 or 5, some of my earliest memories watching Sesame Street. And I watched it when it first started. I'm so old, I remember when Big Bird came out of the egg. That's how long ago Sesame Street was for me. So I start watching, and the things that used to make sense about Sesame Street, they don't make sense to me as an adult. For instance, the theme song. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away, on my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? No one can tell you how to get to Sesame Street. Nobody knows where it is. Everybody wants to go there, but nobody knows where the hell it is. I don't know where it is. And then I look at the channel guide, and it occurs to me that I'm watching Channel 9. I'm watching Canadian Sesame Street. So I don't know where exactly Sesame Street is. But it's got to be a major thoroughfare because it crosses an international border. And nobody knows where it is. I mean, this road must go on for miles and miles and miles. And watching it, it occurs to me that at least part of Sesame Street has to run through New York City. Because that's the only thing that makes sense, man. I mean, look, you've got the obsessive-compulsive transvestite who likes to dress like Dracula. You've got the junkie. Oh, yeah, Big Bird's a junkie. First of all, no normal bird is that big. This guy is like the Indominus Sue of birds. He's got to be shooting up something. He's hitting steroids. He's doing something. He's freebasing birdseed. He's got to be freebasing birdseed because he keeps seeing woolly mammoths that nobody else can see. You got the gay couple living upstairs. Yeah, Bert and Ernie. I knew when I was 5 years old there wasn't something, quite right with Bert and Ernie. Now I've got nothing against homosexuals, but Bert and Ernie are as queer as a $3 bill. Ain't no closet in the world big enough to keep Bert and Ernie in. Bert and Ernie are, yeah. And then there's the guy that lives out on the street. And he's the only one I really felt bad for when I was a kid growing up. Everybody, Oscar. Oscar nasty. Oscar lives in a trash can. I always felt like, what happened to Oscar? What went so wrong in Oscar's life that he ended up in a trash can? I could see myself being a kid on that show. And I'd want to talk to Oscar. Hey, kid. What's your name? Russell? Glad to meet you, Russell. I'm Oscar. You got some questions you want to ask me? Okay. Yeah. Why do they call me Oscar the Grouch? They sent the bright kid over again. Kid, they call me Oscar the Grouch because I live in a frickin' trash can. You know anybody that's happy that lives in a trash can? It's a whole cottage industry now. You got a TV show called Hoarders about miserable people living in trash. They stole that from me. They stole my life. They owe me money. I didn't always used to be Oscar the Grouch. I used to be just plain Oscar. A bright future ahead of me once. Yeah, everything was fine. Till I got married. Yeah, Cookie Monster's sister ate me at a house and home. Never met a fork she didn't like. Then I made the mistake that ruined our marriage. I took her over to Hooper's store. First time in her life she'd ever seen a shovel. It's the only thing she ever really loved. She kept eating and eating. I started drinking. She'd eat more. I'd drink more. Finally, she dragged me to a marriage counselor. Let me tell you something, kid. Social work. Crack a crap. So finally, she left. I kept drinking, lost my job, lost the house. Now I live in a trash can. and I've only got one friend in the world. You know that frog? The one that sings It's Not Easy Being Green? Yeah, he wrote that about me. I was the inspiration for that. He took all the money. He stole my life. He owes me money. And I tell you, kid, I got stuff under my feet. I don't know what it is. And the worst part about it, I can't even go out and scrounge myself up something to eat. And I'll tell you something, kid. When you're hungry, you think about food. Now, you might think, okay, you live in a trash can. You could leave it for days. Nobody wants what's in a trash can. And that might be true. But you know what? Every time I leave to scrounge myself up a bit of food, that stupid junky bird comes over and dumps his needles in my trash can. I tell you, I got more disease. That's why I'm green. I got diseases. I got 3 of his needles sticking in me right now. You know why I'm green? I used to be blue. Every other monster on Sesame Street is blue. I used to be blue. Now I'm green. Because I got his needles sticking in me. I got more of his DNA in my system than I got of my own. You know what happens when they mix yellow and blue? Yeah, that's right, green. That yellow bastard made me sick. Yeah, it's tough living in a trash can. But I tell you, kid, as you're growing up, even if you live in a trash can, you gotta hang on to a dream. You gotta hang on to that one thing that makes you want to get up the next day and try again. You gotta have that dream. I got a dream. I have a dream that one day somebody's gonna come to Sesame Street, open up a gun store, and I can finally pop a cap in that bird's ass. Yeah. Drag him back to my trash can, pluck those 50 million feathers off. Fricassee that son of a bitch. Bet you I'll eat good then, by God. What? You want to ask me another question? Okay, kid, what is it? Can I help you learn the alphabet? Yeah, you want to learn the alphabet, kid? I got an alphabet for you. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, STD. Yeah, I got the whole damn alphabet swimming around in my bloodstream. Damn stupid junky bird. Look, kid, it's getting dark. You better get home. Some weird stuff goes on here in the dark. Yeah. Those guys up on the second floor. Transvestite Count and his 2 buddies. Yeah, they party every night, and I get to hear it all. It's disgusting. One reach around. Two reach around. No, not in the ear. Not in the ear. Wow. Hey, Ernie. Yeah, Bert? Ernie, I think I found your rubber duck. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Ladies and gentlemen, as you leave here tonight, I hope that I've made you laugh at least a little bit, maybe in a situation where you wouldn't normally have laughed, and made things just a little better for you than they might have otherwise been today. Maybe normally after a hard day's work, you'd go home and you'd kick the dog, but you came here and lightened your mood a little bit, and now for at least one night the dog is safe, and at least makes the dog's world a better place. Because an act of kindness, no matter how small, has a ripple effect that can touch the whole world. As you leave here tonight, I want you to look at the people around you and realize that their faces are just a reflection of your own. It was John Lennon who came up with the concept of instant karma. Not that what goes around comes around, but that what you put out there, good or bad, by the time you put it out there, it's already hit you. Ain't no waiting around for it to come back or go over to Cleveland and pick up a sandwich and get back on I-80 and go down the road. It's already hit you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, anyone and everyone can change the world, and I'm here to tell you, you don't even have to get up out of your chair to do it. So I want you to do me one last favor. The next time you see a neighbor being ridiculed, a friend being taken advantage of, the next time you see injustice anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, don't just do something. Sit there.
Thank you and good night.